On June 22nd of this year, the Arma franchise will reach its 20th anniversary, and there's been a lot of speculation as to what could potentially happen on that day. I'm pretty sure we'll see at least a long devblog update style video celebrating 20 years of Arma, but we might get something more. Some more clues into the future projects at Bohemia, or even maybe some trailers. As it's pretty clear now, Bohemia has halted almost all development on Arma 3 for over a year, and have been fully at work developing their new Infusion engine for the future of Arma. We can actually see the Infusion engine too. There's screenshots from Call Me Tommy here, from puzzle pieces throughout their recent blogs, and the community leaked photos from a Twitter account that got copyright claimed on Twitter, so we're definitely not showing them here, but we have looks into the future Arma games. And we know this much: the next Arma is not going to be called Arma 4. Government documents straight from Prague claim that Bohemia Interactive is trademarking Arma Reforger as their title for the year. This one's confirmed also by the most infamous of the leakers on Twitter in October of last year as well. Reforger is the name, and it doesn't seem like it's planning to be the next 7 to 8 year long Arma game like Arma 3, but a small step towards the final game deserving of the number 4, because 7 years was too long to make a big step apparently. It's been 7 cold years with a game that still gets me stuck in stupid rocks. Are you kidding me? Arma 4 needed to release in 2020. That's when God intended it to release. In other news, BI hires someone else to make content for them, and it kicks ass. I thought Arma 3, after a healthy smidgen of 20 hours of playtime, had nothing else to show me. And then Savage Game Design was like, bam, bitch, Hueys, loaches, napalm, and war crimes all over the place. Hey, this isn't so bad. Nighttime, you're all alone, all your teammates are dead, and there's 100 VC coming to rip you a brand new...
Stop that, it's so funny how you say it.
Are we gonna take the prisoner in for a beer?
Yeah.
God damn, the Prairie Fire DLC is a treat. It's the only Arma I play now. But Daisy really needs helicopters. Come on, guys. Helicopters. Just port the heli from Arma 3. The game you got Livonia from. I feel like BI took a lot of field trips in the past few years instead of making the next Arma game. They had that one big field trip, the one where some untrustworthy news source said that BI was in talks with a big purchase by Tencent, and the community went into uproar, and the CEO said it wasn't true. Oh, and then the other field trip 4 months later where BI was bought by Tencent. No correlation. Then Wylands. What is it? It's like Trailmakers, but with microtransactions and not good. The skin colors are fair, dark, and darkest. They use the Arma engine to make a kids game. 42 players playing it right now. It has a weird editor, no real game modes or things to do. Do rocks still eat my soul, or do I have to pay for the Livonia port to Wylands to find the deadly rocks again? And then there's Vigor. Because when you haven't finished your third-person open-world early access PvP survival game over the past 6 years, you know what you should do? Make another third-person open-world early access PvP survival game as well. But this time it's only on consoles. I played it in February 2020 when I got sick because I shared a beer with Demolition Matt, and he had just come home from SHOT Show, which is a pew pew convention in New Vegas, which coincidentally has a lot of people from this area of the world in it. And at that time there was a little virus during that area called the CCP. Coronavirus. I think I got corona from Demolition Matt. He showed no symptoms at all because he has more subscribers. Talking about Tencent bought like 40% of Bohemia Interactive, so they probably have a lot more money now to buy more devs and bigger studios, and hopefully overall make better games than Wylands 2 or Daisy, the survival game based on that mod that had helicopters in it, but sorry, we forgot we had helicopters in our roadmap from 2013. But instead, look at our flying netcode cars. Okay, games to play, waiting for Arma 4. Sorry, went on a bit of a little tangent there. DCS. Holy shit. DCS. Just the word DCS gets my stomach all fuzzy. Hours upon hours upon hours of realizing how dangerously bad you would be if you actually volunteered to fly the commercial airliner if both the pilots fell unconscious. Yeah, not good. Graphics, insane. Radio comms, nice. 64 player lobbies, sick. Clouds. Clicky clacky. Pull up, pull up. I lost the lock! Jester, lock the bandit! We are about to die! Do you understand the danger of the situation we are in? DCS is insane because to play it effectively at all, you have to study a bit on some complex sciences like the functionality of radar sensors, guided munitions, missile dynamics, air pressure, fuel consumption, air-to-air tactics. You're not just joining a game of Arma, listening to the squad leader and pointing and clicking on any bad guy you see. This game takes a minimum of 2 hours before you can effectively take off and maybe kill something in a training server. And that's with someone directly teaching you how in a one-to-one lesson without the enemy shooting back. Now let's put you in a real scenario against dangerous AI or players, and now you don't just have to know when to shoot, but where to shoot and how to shoot. But you also have to dodge SAM sites and fly through inclement weather and know your enemies by aircraft type and how their aircraft perform in different scenarios. When to fly high, when do I fly low? Know how to communicate through traffic on airstrips, know how to understand brawl calls from your AWACS. It might seem complicated, well, because it is. This is the only game I've played where it took me about a week of practice before I could barely be effective in PvE dogfights. You're absolutely thrown into a bigger, lively world of hardcore flight simmers, PvP gods, digital airshow pilots, and much more. And if you want to explore certain areas of the game, all you have to do is buy the $80 planes. Okay, I get it. Beautifully custom built planes and cockpit models from the ground up, fully simulated computer systems, every button and switch works as intended as it does in real life. This could be worth $80. Worth $80 to a young broke gamer who's trying to get into flight sims? I don't think so. Maybe to a bored 40-year-old RC plane dad who already has like $500,000 invested in index funds for retirement, probably worth it and rational purchase for him. But this game is just a great opportunity for younger audiences to get into flight sims, and $80 is a lot for your average 13-year-old. That's 40% of the cost of a new Xbox One. Do it on the keyboard.
In Napa traffic, Silver 1-1.
What?
Taxiing the runway 4.
There is a child. I kind of wish DCS and its developers made jumps to make the game more easily accessible, like adding higher quality tutorials for the free-to-play aircraft in the game, adding more free aircraft than 2 and only one of them is modern-ish. Even if they're simplified or older era aircraft, just make more free ones. Maybe default controller schemes for those free aircraft on control surfaces like the Xbox One controller so that plug and play with the simpler aircraft is actually possible. If DCS had a big pop-up when you launch the game for the first time, said, hey, have you ever played a combat flight sim before? Well, if you haven't, there's this whole section of the main menu front screen that, unless you click off of it, there's like a multi-episode lesson series to teach you the general tips and tricks for flight and combat in the game. That'd help a lot of new players out. A lot of players learn how to take off and land, then they figure out how to lock on and shoot and maybe pop flares and chaff. Then they join a multiplayer server and friendly fire another player because they don't know how to IFF. Then when receiving a radar-guided missile, they pop flares like it's the 4th of July. DCS is still an amazing game to try out, and that's why it's on this little list I made today. Like what I talked about earlier, it's gonna be a while before Arma 4 hits your local Steam page. You have time right now to learn all the things you need to know to dive deep into DCS well before any Arma 4 sort of title releases. I'd highly recommend it. Hey kid, you like the persistent warfare of 24/7 Arma game modes? Well, you'll like a little game called Foxhole. Oh, car! Oh, no! A game that I've actually been following for a few years now. After I met some of the devs at PAX South 2017, they had a little tiny booth. I think it was 2017, it might have been 16, an aspiring open world persistent warfare game where wars can last literal real life weeks. What an interesting idea, a top-down shooter with occlusion culling mechanics to hide certain things from your view that your character's head isn't actually able to see, fighting over the same exact trench for 4 nights straight, and then on the 5th, finally pulling the defense off long enough that you've built some half-tracks to assault the enemy with. That's an awesome feeling. It's a game that you can play very actively or very passively. If you want to just waste time but don't want to put in a ton of effort, you can sit in a foxhole and snipe flankers trying to push through no man's land every 10 minutes. Want to help logistics, help your frontline get supplied? Well, you can drive Logi trucks, truck sim, salvage supplies, refine them, and bring them back to your frontline. You want to get into the action? Spawn at the frontline base, grab a rifle and 3 clips of ammo, and run into enemy lines. I mean, there's a lot of people that play this game, a lot of Frenchies, a lot of Russians. Over a few nights, I continued to regroup with the same group of a dozen or so Russian guys, and one in broken English asked me where I was from, I replied Texas, and then they all started calling me Cowboy. I changed my Steam name to Cowboy just for a week for this game, and I don't regret it. I never really understood a single word that they said, but they would just say like follow and go that way, and like very simple commands, and I would follow everything they did. I miss my Russian friends, who I never understood a single word of. We never added each other as friends either. We never exchanged a Discord channel or anything, but we got on every single night for a week straight and held a single trench, and by the end of that week I knew them all like by name, and I could say I could call them close friends. It was a good time. And since that war ended, I'll never be able to meet them again, but that's the beauty of persistent war games. You're asleep, well, the war is still going on. You're at work, the war is still going. It begins to kind of poke at your everyday life's thought process, like it's a real event, because when you log off, the game doesn't end, it keeps going. Like news on the TV, you stop watching, it keeps going. Or a ball game or something, you stop watching, it keeps going. The game doesn't revolve around you. You're just a single soldier in a war of thousands of players at once, and that's what makes it feel so real.
You do it. You do it.
War is heck. War is heck. War is heck. War is heck, bro.
Thank you.
Oh my god, the death. Oh god, oh god, oh god, no! I don't want to die, not like this! Die, you college! The sound of death. Oh no, oh no, sold! The heck, is King Kush invisible on you guys' screen too? This guy right here? Are you invisible? You are invisible to me. You're just a floating, like, Lee infield.
We can use this to our advantage. We can weaponize it.
I think it's a Drewski.
You're an invisible man. You're even more shocking. It's funny how little stylized toy soldiers on a screen create such an immersive experience, a different type of immersion than the rattling of the cockpit in DCS or the tracers of a night firefight in Arma, but a more core, instinctive feeling of reality in the game that you just don't get in any other. It feels like you're entering a separate reality that is constantly just parallel to ours, and that's why I like it. Foxhole, $20. It's a good game.
Oh, shit.
Insurgency Sandstorm. This game had a really slow start. I mean, it still kind of is a little bit slow sometimes in terms of content. It came out and released with very few maps, few modes, and honestly a really low player population. It had quite unique gunplay, but nothing unique enough to make the game stick to players like Napalm on a Vietnam morning. Recently though, damn, new maps, new guns, deagle, new skins, new fun modes, new Chinese New Year DLC with Fortnite looking cosmetics canceled. Whoa. Did a game just listen to overwhelming amounts of constructive criticism and feedback from their community of gamers? Damn, Insurgency 2021 is back, BB. Like, so many guns and customization options and intense, super tactical gameplay. If you want to sweat, you can go into PvP. If you want to vibe with the gamer boys and gamer girls, go PvE, shred some AI that won't call you bad things in the chat at the end of the round. And talking about talking, it's not just the end of the round, it's during the fights. In PvP, you can talk to the enemy. That nade was very rude. I did not appreciate that.
This is a sniper's dream lane right here. Holy shit.
Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, the grenades are a bit odd.
No.
It is, bro.
Oh, this air claw skin is really
Hey,
cool.
hey, chill. Like, holy shit, you can talk to the enemy. People recognize me from the opposite team, screaming my name down alleyways, trying to hunt me down. I love this game. I love Insurgency Sandstorm in 2021. Vanilla even. It's great. It's got mods too if you want the modded experience, but vanilla is still extremely solid. There's a lot of tactical SWAT-based games coming out recently, and they offer cool features and ultra-realistic gameplay, but they won't mention that the animations are super stiff, the graphics are extremely limited, and when Insurgency's out here with just smooth freaking movement, the movement system itself puts the game towards close quarters realism even more than both Arma 3 and Tarkov. In those games, if someone's shooting at you, you just 80 strafe to stop someone from hitting your head, something that even Apex Legends has fixed. Why is he even trying to lose? He out of ammo? The snap! The freaking snap! Oh my god. This guy does not even care. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, go in Apex right now, walk left and right. You can't do it. It slows you down. It's genius. It's like Apex Legends, a game that has, I don't know, a jetpack lady. That's the best character, by the way. You can do like little rocket strikes. It's sick. Apex is kind of good right now. Apex slaps. Apex is a game to play while waiting for Arma 4 if you haven't yet. It's free to play. I don't know why I wouldn't put it on the list. I mean, Arma 3 is a bit old, so I can cut Arma some slack. But Tarkov, come on. You play like Call of Duty now. If your realistic first-person shooter game has more AD strafe than Apex Legends, you have a legitimate problem. Insurgency really has cleaned itself up lately, though. It's a game that I'm surprised to say is one of my late-night chill games now, which is rare. That's like top of the shelf meaning. Like, that's what I mean by top of the shelf, is if I get on at 3 a.m. when I can't go to sleep and I just play Insurgency all night, that is a good game. Just hop on a random server, join some usually pretty cool dudes, try a new Mosin setup, or see how I do soloing the new Deagle. The sound, the graphics, the smooth gunplay, gameplay, animations makes this game one of the top first-person shooters to keep you occupado during the wait for Arma 4.0. I think there's some obvious games I could also list, like Squad or Rising Storm 2 or Wylands, but I wanted to mention the games that most people not following my channel might have not yet heard about, because you guys that are subscribers, you hear about these games all the time, but 60% of you aren't even subscribers. You guys are new. You don't even know who I am, and that's totally fine. So I'm trying to suggest these games for the people that don't know about them. For sure, most people know what Squad is, but Foxhole, not so much. These are underrated games that take a bit of a learning curve to get used to, especially DCS, but they offer unique ideas for all areas of the realistic warfare genre. You've got persistent warfare, simulated warfare, and refined hardcore warfare. So if you're in the need for some immersive gameplay, don't sit down and wait. There's more options out there than you might think. Like the options to buy my merch at bunkerbranding.com. Link is at the top of the description down below. I'll see you guys in the next one.